Welcome back, horror fans, cinephiles, and Giallo enthusiasts. This is Tanner Leeser, your host for all things Giallo and Giallo adjacent here on The King and Giallo. And it is time once again for another unscripted talking head movie review. This is for the 2025-2026. I don't even know if we call this a Giallo, a modern Giallo, but this is Saturnalia. So I'm going to be really brief with this one. I will do my best not to give spoilers, but in talking about the movie and what I think it is similar to and all that, there might be some things that could be considered spoilers. So if you are interested in watching the movie, probably just go check that out first and then see my thoughts. Let me begin by saying that regardless of what I say about this movie, I do want you to check it out. If you are a Giallo fan, a Italian horror fan, anything, check it out. Never take my opinion to persuade you one way or the other to either see a movie or not, to avoid it. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. So I saw trailers and such for this movie last year, I believe, last summer, I think is when I started seeing them on my Instagram. And it seemed very apparent that, it seems a little bit like an homage, a send-up of Suspiria and other such 70s Giallo films. And yes, but I don't know where to begin. Okay, so let me just say that I purchased the movie on Amazon Prime digitally, so I can watch it over and over again. I have seen the movie twice now. I do think it is good for me sometimes to watch a movie more than once before I give my thoughts, just so I can, because sometimes the first time you watch a movie, it's discovering what the plot is, what the story is, and then whether I like it or not. Usually going through it a second time, I either can find more about it that I like, or I can reconsider and go, maybe I didn't like that as much. But regardless, I do think it is good for me to watch a movie twice sometimes before I talk about it. Okay, so in one word, my thoughts for the movie is I thought it was fine. I do think that in terms of modern Giallo films, and again, I'm not going to say right now whether this is truly a Giallo or not. It does seem a little bit more like it's going towards Suspiria. Regardless, talking about modern Giallo films, Giallo adjacent films, I am not the biggest fan of them as much as I want to be, as much as I love this genre and I would love there to be a renaissance of it and it to come back. I just feel like modern Giallo films is not the same as a modern slasher film. I don't know why exactly. It just seems like slashers never really fell out, even though we kind of put them away for a while. If we bring them back, I'll say this. Speaking to that, the modern Giallo films I have seen, I just feel like they're very derivative and they feel like copies of copies of copies. I have not seen all of them. I have seen The Strange Color of Your Body's Tears, and I will need to rewatch that before I really weigh in on it. But I remembered thinking the movie was really pretentious and it felt more style over substance. Knife Plus Heart, or Knife and Heart, I believe it's a French Neo-Giallo film, I also recall not really liking it, although it was closer to a Giallo than some of the others are. And then Dario Argento's Dark Glasses, I did not like. I really feel like Giallo films from the 90s kind of onwards look and feel more like made-for-TV movies. The last modern, or coming up to modern Giallo film that I really actually enjoyed was probably Argento's Sleepless, which I think it's either late 90s or early 2000s. But the best one I can say that I've seen that I really recommend is The Editor. And The Editor is a comedy homage to Giallo films. And I remember, like, when I had discovered Giallo films over a decade ago, I wanted to write a comedy homage film. And then I saw The Editor and I felt like, well, fuck, somebody beat me to it. And not just that, but they did a damn good job. And so in the case of also like doing YouTubing, if there's ever a subject that I want to cover, for example, I have wanted to do like a video essay on Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Well, there's one that already exists and the guy did a damn good job. So I kind of feel like, well, there's nothing more I can add. So I'll leave it alone. And that's how I kind of felt with The Editor. Although I still do want to make a comedy Giallo homage film, but it's just like, that's the bar. And personally, I think they set that bar really high. Now, this film, it's Saturnalia, I believe. I think it's fine. In the opening, there is a kill, and then we go into this girl getting into a car, and it's literally shot for shot Suspiria, the girl getting into the car. So the plot in a nutshell is this girl who you find out later that her parents were killed. She goes to this, what I thought was an all-girls academy, and then 30-40 minutes in, I realized, oh, it's unisex. But she goes to this academy, essentially, because she's not of age, and it's very, it's very abusive. And so it kind of reminds me a little bit initially of Suspiria mixed with that school in New York that there was a documentary recently that came out that was exposing how abusive it was. And I actually have a friend that went there, and I remember her talking about it to me like 10 years ago. And then this documentary comes out fairly recently. So there's a little bit of that. However, I did feel like, well, let me say something more positive first. Visually, aesthetically, the movie is interesting. It's cool, for lack of a better word. The sound design is good. The music by Claudio Simonetti of Goblin, who did the soundtrack for Suspiria and Deep Red, is really good. Is really, really good. Probably my favorite thing about the movie, like A+. But going into the movie, I did feel like, what is the plot right now? I did feel that the characters and the writing left way more to be desired. I felt that basically every character I thought was fairly one-dimensional. The main character, Miriam, she kind of, it's like the character, if I was to ask what it is, I'd be like, well, she's just kind of a bitch. And I'm not trying to sound like a misogynist or whatever, but it's just very like, why am I even here? And then the characters are assholes to her for the most part, but she's initially just acting like that. So it kind of feels like, well, you're getting what you put out, girl. But I know that wasn't what, I don't believe that is what the movie intended, but that's how it felt for the first 15-20 minutes. That's just like, I get it. This girl is supposed to be like the rebel and all that, but yeah, it just didn't, I don't think it quite read as well as it was going for. As I said, the characters, the antagonist is one-dimensional, Miss Hemlock, which was like, Hemlock, I get it. It's a poison plant. The bullies, I don't even know why we needed bullies in the movie, but they were one-dimensional. And I feel like modern horror movies, whenever they have someone who's supposed to be a bully, it's just, it never feels authentic. It never feels real. They like the one girl spits in her food. And then in terms of then the headmistress being authoritative and being cruel, it just felt like it's just happening because the movie said so. It never really felt, I don't know how to put this, but it just didn't feel like this was coming from a real place. It was just happening because that's what the script said so. And, you know, when the headmistress would be punishing the girl, it just felt like, why? Like she technically didn't really do anything. She's got some attitude, but then it would be, oh, she needs to do your measurements. And the main character was just always so like, why? Why? I'm a size 4. It's like, just fucking let her do the measurements. And so there was this struggle between like, I'm supposed to sympathize with this character, but she's kind of just, I don't want to say being a bitch, but she kind of was just being a bitch. But then the other characters, the antagonist is supposed to just be cruel. And it didn't come across as well as I think it was trying to. But anyways, as the movie goes along, I felt, okay, so if I was to compare this to any Giallo film, it was reminding me then of I want to say it's 1969. It could be 68 though. It's a Spanish proto-Giallo film called The House That Screamed, which takes place at an all-girls academy with a authoritative headmistress and, you know, got people running the joint. So it felt a little bit like that. The similarities to Suspiria went away at a certain point, although visually there was still a lot of use of vibrant light, vibrant color. And again, in a modern Giallo film, when I see that, it kind of just feels like that's the rule book that you need to emulate. Like I said, I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but I did remember getting to about halfway through the movie thinking like, okay, so what is this really about? Like, it's this girl has gone to this academy because we find out like recently then that her parents died. But then it's like, okay, but so what's happening though? And things would be happening, but it didn't really feel like it was driving anywhere. Okay, so there's these older men, these gentlemen that are coming there. Like, why? We don't really see them. All we know is that they're present. So there is some stuff that, again, still reminded me of Suspiria, where it's like this academy that has young people in it, but there seems to be something sinister going on behind the scenes with these other adults who run the place. Another thing that I thought of at one point is this headmistress is not that intimidating. Like, she'll tell people what to do and then she'll punish them and all that, but it's like, what is actually stopping these young adults who all look like adults, that none of them really looked like teenagers? What's actually stopping them from just uprising, just leaving? And there wasn't really anything. There is a masked killer, but it's just kind of happening. It's just there, but it's not like the Antonio Margheriti proto-giallo film Naked You Die that's happening at an all-girls school and then there's people getting killed off. Although there were some similarities, but I bring that up because I did think of it in terms of, oh, that's another movie that does a similar thing, but it's not close to that really at all. Beyond all that, yeah, without giving any spoilers, it took a while before an investigation actually started happening, before the main character was actually trying to find answers. That took about like halfway through the movie. Beyond that, the first half, it's just things happening that just show that this is a bad place. The headmistress is a bully. There are bullies. And there is a guy who goes there who's like the one who's supposed to be cracking the whip. They call him the whip, I guess. But he's befriending the main girl. And you get the sense that there's something going on. But again, it's just kind of like, it just wasn't super well written. And I'm not trying to be a dick and I'm not trying to be pretentious. It's just, I felt like the movie wanted to do more, but it did feel like the script was kind of holding it back. What else can I say? When you get to the end, so again, I will try not to spoil it, but I will talk about what it reminded me of. It does kind of then go a little bit Suspiria at the end. It also went a little bit All the Colors of the Dark. Yeah. So I don't know what else to say. I do feel bad that I don't have a whole lot of positive things to say about this movie, but the reality is this is my opinion, and I'm not trying to glaze up this movie so that I can get shared on social media for, totally writing a wonderful review. That being said, I still want you to check this movie out. If you checked out this review because you're interested in what I have to say and you haven't seen the movie, I still want you to check it out. Because the reality is I don't share the same opinion with all of my subscribers. There's a lot of subscribers I have who enjoyed a movie that I didn't really care for, and then didn't like a movie that I absolutely adore. So my opinion is probably not going to be yours. You might enjoy this movie more than me. You might agree with me. Whatever. Let me know, though, if you have seen this movie, what your thoughts are on it, because I'm interested to know what the consensus is on this movie. And the only things I've really seen are people on Instagram that are just like, this movie is so amazing, it's so beautiful. And I don't know, is that really your opinion, or are you saying that so that their Instagram page will share your wonderful review? I don't know. I don't dislike this movie either. I don't think it's bad. I do think, like I said, the writing and the acting were just not really there. Things sort of just happened, especially in the first half, just because the script said so. But it did get a little better. Aesthetically, there's a great use of art and the architecture. The lighting is cool. There is a part where they mention in a classroom setting Saturn and the children, which I thought it was interesting that they're using the Roman names, but Saturn and how he had children. And then there's a part where Miriam goes into, I think it was the headmistress's office, and there is the painting of Saturn devouring his children. And it's funny because that's actually my phone case is that painting. So I thought that was cool. In terms of the purpose, it does come up later. I just don't want to spoil things. Is this a giallo film? Yeah. I'd say so. There is an investigation. It takes a while to get going, but there's certainly stuff that occurs in the movie that you could say, yeah, that's very indicative of the genre. I did feel like still, in terms of what this movie's identity is, it did kind of feel like first and foremost it was a send-up of Suspiria, but there's no ballet, there's no dancing. Like I said, the girl getting into the car and then the very ending of the movie reminded me the most of Suspiria. Beyond that, in the middle, it's the only thing that you can say is visually it kind of looks like it, and the setting itself is reminiscent, but the middle of the movie felt more like The House That Screamed, and then the final 10 minutes of the movie felt like All the Colors of the Dark. It's fine. It's fine. Please do check it out. But yeah, regardless, I hope the director continues to make films. You know, I don't wish any ill on anybody who participated in this movie. It's not like that. It's not like I'm trying to tear this movie apart. I do want it to do well. I do want the people who worked on it to do well. It's just my honest thoughts is I just feel like modern giallo films or films that were clearly inspired by the genre just don't, they just don't come off as anything from that era. And as much as I don't want to say this, I do feel like the genre is kind of tied to the time and place that it came out of. My friend says that you can't really make a spaghetti western anymore. It's too much a product of its time. And as I get older, I really start understanding where that opinion is coming from. And I don't want that to be true. I don't want to say that you can't make a giallo film anymore. It needs to be Italian. It needs to come out of the late 60s, 70s, 80s. I want there to be a renaissance of this genre, because there's a lot of plot treatments that I've written that are giallo films. So I would love it if the zeitgeist kind of came back and allowed for more of these films to come about. It's just, as it is right now, the movies that I have seen that are millennial giallo films, they just feel like copies of copies. They just feel more like they're derivative of older films than they are their own film. I wish that wasn't the case, but that's how I feel. Like I said, you probably will disagree with me and say, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I thought this, and that is good. I say this all the time. I'm not looking for you guys to agree with me. I would love it if you leave a comment and give me something that you found in the movie that I overlooked. I do enjoy that. This is just my opinion. That's all it is. But I'm going to leave it at that. I've already talked longer than I felt I should. Do check out this movie. As of the time of recording this, which is the 22nd, I think it is only available on Amazon Prime, but I think as of April 24th, I believe the day is, it will be on more streaming services. I know it has been going around touring, doing screenings. I don't know how wide it's going to be. I don't know where this is going. I don't know if it will be on Shudder or Netflix, HBO, any of that. I honestly don't know, but do check it out. You can rent it to watch it for 24 hours or so, or you can just buy it. I just bought it, and yeah, I do look forward to what your opinions are for this movie, and yeah, let's hope this movie has a good run. Like I said, it's pulling some weight for us giallo fans to continue to see more giallo in the future. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Oh, you know what? Let me address this right now. So the review is over. If you came for the review, you may leave now. I just wanted to talk about why I have not been posting for about 5 months. The reason is because I left my job and the state that I was living in. I was living in Washington. I was working at Google in Fremont, Seattle. And the job that I had allowed me so much free time during the day that I could edit all day practically. So I was able to put out 3 videos or so a week. My new job, I moved back to Southern California. I work at my community theater that I had volunteered at over a decade ago, and they're the ones who sent me off to go to a conservatory to train in acting. And then I transferred to Cornish in Seattle to get my degree in acting. And at a certain point, I just felt like, what am I doing? Yes, I'm YouTubing and I enjoy it, but I didn't go to school to sit in a mailroom. And I'm like, if you guys can give me a full-time job, I'll come back, because I would love to work in the theater. And I have a full-time job there. I've been the technical supervisor working on every show that's gone up. I had stopped editing late December because moving into January, I was directing a play. Okay, it's so funny how I was not getting texts all day, and then suddenly once I sit down to record, my phone is just blowing up. It's it's just the way the shit works. Anyways, I directed a play. I directed Neil Simon's Laughter on the 23rd Floor. I've actually been in that show before when we did it like 11 years ago. And then it was just working on every other show we did. Currently, I'm playing John Proctor in The Crucible, which is the last show of the season. And then we're going into the summer, and I don't know what's going to happen in the summer. And then we will be starting the next season. But I am trying to get back on the horse, editing, posting videos. If I never broke up my schedule, I'd probably be in 1974 in Giallo films right now. But as it is, I'm still finishing off 1972. I will get those videos out. I will try to be posting regularly again, at least one video a week, fingers crossed. I will probably also be posting anything I finish on Patreon right away, and then I will have it scheduled for YouTube releases. I'm trying to get to that point that I was at where I had a backlog of videos that were posted. God, there was a time where I had like 12 videos in my backlog, and I didn't have to worry about what happens if I don't edit for 2 weeks because I just had so much content. It's all gone now. It's all been posted. But yeah, I will try to get back to it. I was not abandoning the channel. I thank you for everyone who stuck around, and I will come back to it. And I felt like this was a video that I needed to make because it's a modern Giallo adjacent film. So I felt like I should do something for it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for being subscribers and fans. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I talk about Giallo films very frequently, and that's all I've got to say. Leave comments about your thoughts and opinions on Dude, stop barking. Leave comments on Saturnalia. Gosh, I'm so sorry. Anyways, yeah. But anyways, this is Tanner Leeser for TheKingInGiallo, and if nothing else, I'll see you next time.
You know, those girls in Normandy, they didn't shave their armpits, but that didn't stop us, if you know what I mean.